Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're unpacking something kind of fascinating, a really hidden strategy for achieving extraordinary financial and personal independence. We are looking at a very specific pattern of behavior, basically the mindset of women who become true architects of their own success. And what's so incredible about this approach is that it completely rejects that loud, constant hustle culture we see celebrated literally everywhere today. Instead, it's built entirely on calculated, strategic silence. So if you're focused on actual, real growth rather than just, the appearance of it, you are in the exact right place.
Let's just dive right in with a critical question. What do you think is the biggest lie about success? Society constantly feeds us this narrative that if you just put your head down and grind, you'll inevitably make it to the top. But our source material today challenges that head-on. Because the reality is, almost everyone works hard. Yet, we all know people who work day and night, absolutely exhausting themselves, but never seem to actually move forward, right? They just stay stuck in the exact same place. So why is that?
Well, that brings us to a really powerful contrast. On one hand, you have just hard work, that loud, exhausting hustle culture we just talked about. It's grinding without direction, where so many people just stay stuck. But then on the flip side, you have strategic silence. This represents the person who is quiet. She's observant, she definitely doesn't show off every minor victory or post her whole life online, but suddenly, seemingly out of nowhere, she achieves massive, undeniable growth. Because the real game of success, as it turns out, isn't just about raw effort. It's about deep understanding and deploying a very specific strategy.
To make this a bit more concrete, think about the unnoticed observer. You've probably seen her in your own office or friend group. She's often the quiet girl. She wears simple clothes, totally dodges the office gossip, completely avoids the drama, and you are never going to see her bragging on social media. People might even mistake her silence for being boring, or maybe think she lacks ambition. But here is the secret. While everyone else is relaxing on the weekend, seeking validation, or posting their every single move online, she is secretly observing, planning, and quietly building her skills entirely behind the scenes.
Now, why does she keep her life so incredibly private? Well, it really becomes clear when you consider the audience of your life. On one side, sure, you have your supporters, people who are genuinely happy to see you grow. But the absolute danger lies with the blockers. These are individuals who will actively try to stop you, discourage you, or just distract you. And the terrifying part? They often do it with a smile on their face. The hard truth is that this second group is usually far larger. So secrecy isn't about being sneaky at all. It's a necessary shield to protect your growth from those exact blockers.
And this dynamic right here is why image control is absolutely vital. Just compare the overshare to the selective share. When you broadcast your goals, your struggles, and your emotions, you unconsciously give away your power. You are practically handing the world a VIP pass to judge you, doubt you, and distract you from your path. But the selective share? She retains absolute control. By deciding exactly what to reveal and what to keep hidden, she commands respect. When you share everything, you give people permission to interfere. Silence just keeps you firmly in the driver's seat.
So how do they actually do this? Well, these women follow a strict, almost unwritten code of image control. They know that not every emotion is meant for public consumption. Even if they are managing absolute chaos or stress internally, which, hey, is perfectly human, they make sure to project composed clarity externally. Why? Because they understand that information is quite literally power. They know the world only takes you seriously when you appear to be in complete control of yourself, and they absolutely refuse to hand over the ammunition of their own internal struggles to anyone else.
Which leads us to a highly dangerous psychological pitfall, the validation trap. It's that dopamine rush, that false sense of achievement your brain experiences when you receive praise for announcing a goal you haven't even completed yet. It's that warm, fuzzy feeling you get when you tell everyone your big plans and they tell you how proud they are. But the immense danger here is that it tricks your brain into feeling successful. It entirely kills your hunger and your drive before you've even sat down to do the real work.
To completely bypass that trap, you've got to rely on what's called a silent execution loop. Step 1, keep the plan entirely secret. Naturally, this leads right into step 2, which is conserving your energy. By not making grand announcements, you actively block out unhelpful outside noise, doubts, and discouraging opinions that would otherwise just eat up your mental bandwidth. And ultimately, step 3, you speak only through your finished results. This loop keeps your focus razor sharp and perfectly insulates you from any external voices that could try to throw you off course.
Okay, let's shift gears for a second and transition this mindset from personal habits into the financial realm. Ask yourself this: do you just want to earn, or do you want to be truly free? It's a profound shift in thinking, really.
Most people are conditioned to simply hold a job and earn a salary, basically just to survive. But the strategic women we're studying in this explainer, they aren't playing for a simple paycheck. They are quietly building a fortress of true, untouchable autonomy. As you'll see, this kind of autonomy definitely doesn't happen overnight. It builds over a very specific timeline. Most people start and unfortunately stop at a single job salary, which leaves them highly vulnerable and entirely dependent on one single source. But the silent architect, she quietly establishes side income and freelance work. Over time, she converts that income into long-term assets and investments, ultimately leading to total financial freedom. It is a precise, totally silent progression from relying on active income to building a robust system where your money is finally working for you.
But here is the harsh reality of it all. 90%, literally 9 out of 10 people will never achieve this kind of extraordinary success or financial freedom. Why? Because they simply cannot handle the discomfort of being quiet. They can't handle walking alone, they can't ignore the urge to show off, and they just can't delay that instant gratification of social media applause. Operating in the shadows requires a level of internal discipline that the vast majority of people simply refuse to develop.
So, if you want to be in that top 10%, your blueprint as a silent architect relies on a few core shifts. It means choosing to observe way more and speak a lot less. It requires deliberately stopping the constant announcements of your plans and the broadcasting of your emotions. Instead, you've got to channel that exact energy into quietly building your income streams. You are working for your own freedom, building a life on your own terms rather than just trying to impress everyone else. Implementing this requires a really tough shift in how you interact with the world, for sure, but the payoff is absolute control. Ultimately, it all boils down to this core realization. Success doesn't come from noise. It comes from control, clarity, and discipline. The most dangerous, the most permanent, and honestly the most powerful kind of success is the kind that is built entirely in the shadows, far, far away from the spotlight. Because when you operate in silence, nobody knows what to attack, nobody knows your next move, and most importantly, nobody knows how to stop you.
Which leaves us with one final, critical question for you to really think about today. Will you keep playing for applause, or will you start playing for freedom? The choice is entirely yours. You can keep seeking that temporary, fleeting validation from the crowd, or you can apply these habits, embrace strategic silence, and completely change the trajectory of your life. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and remember to keep learning.